Patrick McNeil back here with you at the intermission as the Eagles take on the Acadie-Bathurst T10. 3 games in a row between these two teams. Getting some perspective in the offices in Bathurst from the manager of content and media relations, Bryer MacPherson. Bryer, as we talk, it's wide open in New Brunswick now. How has that affected ticket sales in Bathurst for games? Are people excited to just go back to fully normal, I guess we can say?
We haven't quite seen the impact yet, but I think definitely there's lots of excitement around the team in general. Our attendance is doing pretty well at this point.
Obviously, a big night tonight for Bathurst forward Felix Lafrance. He makes his return to Cape Breton. How excited do you think he is, and how much have you guys enjoyed watching him? Just how good has he been since coming to Bathurst?
He's been great. First few games, I think it was a little bit of an adjustment period, so you didn't maybe see the amount of offense out of him that he was putting up in Chicoutimi, but after a few games, it started to pick up, and he's looking really good out there right now.
A lot of moving pieces the team is trying to put together, I'm sure. The big news off the ice with this Bathurst team the last few days has been the launch of the new third jersey, the black uniform, which seems to be getting good reviews. Tell us about how that came together, and has that been positively received thus far?
It's been amazing. They're selling like crazy in our store. It's good to see. It took about 2.5 years to finally get it done, so it's a long process with CCM and everything, getting approved by the league, and then getting approved by CCM. It was meant to be ready for last year, but we missed the deadline by like a week 2 years ago. So we had to wait another year. So now it's finally here this year, and it's awesome. We played 2 games with them this weekend, and it was really good. The players like it. The fans like it. It's awesome.
We always talk about different aspects of the business side of things, and I believe it was this year that the Rogers television coverage ended in New Brunswick. Has there been any noticeable effect on that, positive or negative, do you think? Was that a surprise that relationship came to an end?
Yeah, it was a little bit. We kind of knew it was coming just with the new CHL deal with TSN and all that. But positives of it is that it gives us a little bit of extra space to work with for our webcast setup. We have a couple extra cameras now, and they go where Rogers used to have cameras set up. They actually had an actual production room permanent in our rink. So now we converted that just into extra storage and stuff for us.
That's always the question with TV. You don't know whether people are staying home to watch the game or whether it's advertising your product. It's a little bit of both, so it's kind of interesting to get some perspective on that. We talked earlier about Felix Lafrance, and of course, another key piece of that trade is Thomas Bellegarde comes over. Maybe a player that's a bit underappreciated. What has he brought to the T10 since coming over?
Definitely, as you said, underappreciated. The way I like to describe him is he's really the ideal third-line center. He's very good on face-offs, very reliable defensively. And when we have everyone in the lineup, him, Chisholm, and Allison are just a really good third line. I think they just complement each other very well, and his impact's been great since he's been here.
One thing that's been constant the last couple of years in Bathurst is they've been kind of riding this Chase the Ace phenomenon. Tell us about the Chase the Ace program in Bathurst.
It used to be basically instead of doing 50-50 at our games, we did Chase the Ace. The last couple of years, we changed it up, and during the games, we have just a regular 50-50, and then we also have the Chase the Ace, which is just a completely separate thing through our foundation. Every week, we have a draw. We do the draw on Facebook Live. Normally, do it in person and everything, but last year with COVID, we were kind of forced to do it virtually, and then this year, we just kind of decided to continue with it. It just works well, so we just kind of stuck with that.
This Bathurst team obviously has high expectations, and a big game against Charlottetown over the weekend that saw the T10 come up with a win. Tell us about the excitement of people in Bathurst right now, and just how much of a playoff vibe was there to that game as we start to see these star-studded teams match up with each other?
It was an exciting game. It was a tight game, too. It was 0-0 after 2. Can't get much tighter than that. They scored, so it was 1-0. I think it was maybe 30 seconds in the game, and then we tied it, and it was just crazy. The fans were going nuts. It was just an unbelievable atmosphere. But just in general, the excitement around the team right now is awesome to see. And back in 2018, when we went all the way, it was my first year. But I wasn't really with the team full time, so I didn't get to experience that. But this year, experiencing that up close and in person is really cool.
Well, Bryer, great insight on things on and off the ice in Bathurst. Thanks for telling us all about it. Have fun the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me.
That is Bryer MacPherson. He is manager of content and media relations for the Acadie-Bathurst T10, also working on the communication side as well. You're listening to Uniglass Plus, Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.